welcome to the Fabulous Empty Nest with me, your host, Angie. Today is Monday, January 5th. Today is my parents' wedding anniversary. I knew that I had that messed up, but yes, today is their heavenly wedding anniversary. So happy anniversary, Mom and Dad. They would have been married 62 years today. So I had a very restful and relaxing weekend. Today what we're going to talk about is regular crochet and chat day. So no special big projects. It's just kind of going over what I'm making, what I plan to make, what's going on, those kinds of things. So it's kind of the relaxed day, which I really appreciate. So I don't know about y'all, but do you all make New Year's resolutions? I try not to make resolutions anymore, but I like to set intentions for the year. And I really thought about it a lot this year. One thing that I was able to really come up with is slowing down. I think that's one of the gifts of becoming an empty nester. And it's not a natural thing, because if you've been running, on high octane at 1,000 miles an hour for the last 4 decades, then it becomes a little harder to slow down, and it definitely takes intention. So looking at things in my life that cause anxiety, that cause stress, things that make me feel like I've got to rush. The fact is that I don't have to rush, and it doesn't feel good. So my intention for the year is to live slowly, to live gently, and to let a lot of those old beliefs and values that I had about being overly productive, about being type A, kind of let that all go and slow down and relax. And I got to kind of practice that this weekend, and that was really nice. But this weekend, I did a little mini road trip with my sister down to Santa Rosa. And it was really nice because I was going to drive myself, but she drove, so I got to ride and just relax. So that was nice. Very relaxed trip, other than the fact that it poured buckets of rain the whole trip down there. And it poured buckets and buckets and buckets that night when we got to our hotel. I could not believe the amount of rain that came down in Santa Rosa, California. It literally just sounded like what it sounded like to me was when I lived in Tennessee and we would have those gully washer rains where a storm would come and it would just dump rain and then the gullies would be like overflowing. It was that kind of rain, but it rained for a long time like that. So I really thought I was going to wake up and it was just going to be flooded everywhere, but it wasn't too bad. We also are having a king tide here. So when we have a king tide, high tide, and then lots of rain, it causes a ridiculous flooding. So it's been messy here for a bit, but we had safe travels down there, safe travels back, no big deal. We had a lot of fun. We went to Hobby Lobby, and I'll put a little clip in right here of my trip to Hobby Lobby. Yes, I always have to do my happy dance when I'm at Hobby Lobby because I don't get to go there very often. It's such a long trip to get to a Hobby Lobby. So it's always something to celebrate. And it's kind of funny because I hummed and hawed about putting that up because I was like, oh, some people are not going to like it. Some people will think it's funny. Some people won't get it. Some people will get it. And that was my next kind of my next epiphany, I guess you'd say, is that I've got to stop worrying about trying to please everyone that comes across my channel. That will never happen, and I just need to stop, because if I'm trying to do that, then I'm not being my authentic self. And why even do it if I'm not going to be my authentic self, right? So I was like, I'm going to put it up there because I think it's funny, and it's what I do every time I go to Hobby Lobby, and if people don't like it, I guess they don't have to watch. You know, I'd hate that you leave my channel because you didn't like that I did a happy dance in the aisle of Hobby Lobby, but it's how I roll. It's what I do. And if I know there are others of you out there that do it too. So, yeah, I'm like doing this thing called living in freedom, and I'm not worrying anymore about what other people think about my happy dance or other things. All right, so that was my other big kind of epiphany that I came to, is I'm just going to stop trying to please everyone, and I'm going to do what resonates with me, and I will attract the kind of viewers that I want and to have community with, right? Because that's the whole purpose of the channel, is to create community. So yeah. All right. So I'm feeling pretty ready for this. I've got my water and my Coke Zero, caffeine-free Coke Zero, which is my one little guilty pleasure. And I think it's time to get started. I am curious though if any of you have made any kind of New Year's resolutions or any intentions for the year, and you know what those are. If you want to share them, that would be great. I always love hearing what people are doing, and it's a good way to kind of hold each other accountable too, right? I always need accountability, and that's one of the great things about this channel, is it creates accountability for me, for sure. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is go over my favorite, the things that I made this year that are my favorite patterns, my favorite makes, my favorite, just my favorite channels, my go-to channels, the ones that I go to when I am looking for something interesting. I'm probably going to do a Whip Wednesday this Wednesday, so it'll be Whip Wednesday and wellness. So on the trip, well, right before I left on the trip, I started this, and then I almost have it finished. And what I've decided to do with this beautiful shawl, I'm going to do a couple more rows. Actually, I'm just going to finish out the skein. So whatever I can get from this, because this is actually 4 skeins. I got this out of four skeins. But what I think I'm going to do on Krista's My Secret Yarnery, one of my favorite channels, by the way, she just did a her favorite projects of the year, and one of the projects that she did, and I literally was like drooling while I was watching it, but she did this precious little shawl. I think she calls it the Bouquet shawl. And she puts these little pom-poms all the way around the shawl. And so when she wraps it up, it literally looks like a bouquet of flowers, like right here. That's what I'm doing with this. But I'm trying to decide if I want to do navy or this color, because these are both colors that are in this. This might be too much, but this might be boring. So I don't know, one of each. I mean, like rotating them. I don't know. I'd love to hear what y'all think. Because it's so variegated, it's going to be really hard to make that decision. So I would love some feedback on what you think would be best. I mean, individually, all blue or all green, I think would be fine. But do you think rotating them from, one blue, one green would be good? I don't know. I guess I could make up a couple and just try it and see how it looks. But I'd love to hear what you all think. All right, on to the next project. These are things that I'm working on currently. Okay, so currently still working on the Sophie hood. It kind of lost priority, but I need to get it finished because it is a gift. So it is going high up on my priority list, and I'm going to put it right here on my desk so I don't forget. And then this, I started making this on Christmas. This is a really cute sock, but I'm turning it into a boot. hoping that it'll focus on that. I'm doing a shell stitch. Let's see. I'll put it on for you, show you. I want it to go all the way to the knee. That's not very good, is it? Well, let's see. Well, that was a bust. I don't know. Anyway, love it. Can't wait to wear them around the house. They're super cozy. Heavy, 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 heavy. All right. My husband got me some socks for Christmas because I kind of have a love-hate relationship with socks. I think I've said before, I have big ankles and calves from just do. And I can't ever find socks that I can wear because they cut off my circulation. And he bought me a bunch of little ankle socks. The problem with ankle socks is when I wear boots and things like that, they fall off. And he got me Bombas, and they are the bomb. I love them so much. They stay on my feet. They add extra support through my arch. Bombas are the bomb. All right, so I got my 2 skeins. Actually, I've got 4 skeins of this to finish my little sweater. This sweater that I'm making comes from the Crochet.With.Coffee. That would be Sarah from Crochet.With.Coffee. She made this cute little sweater, and I am now making one. It's going to be kind of a V-neck off the shoulder, and it'll be kind of long. This is going to be like my holey jeans. I'm going to wear this with like my holey jeans and a pair of Doc Martens or cowboy boots. It's so pretty, and it's just got the nicest drape to it. So this is going to be that. And so I finally got the yarn for that. So I get to finish this up. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting. I still have another big box of yarn coming from Hobby Lobby. I shopped there yesterday, and then I had a big box show up yesterday while I was gone. So I'm going to share that yarn with you in a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Nothing like too wild. I'd love to, get another pair of socks in somewhere. I'm going to show you some yarn that I got. I was almost going to send it back, but I thought, no, these would be great for socks. All right, so now we're going to hop into my favorite makes of 2025. Now, before I started my channel, I made a lot of stuff. I made an Afghan for all my daughters, friends. I mean, I was an Afghan, or I keep forgetting, we don't call them Afghans anymore, blankets. I was a blanket making machine, and I made a ton of blankets, and I gave them all away. So I'm not going to show you any of those, but I did make some really beautiful ones. If I find some pictures, I might throw them in. But there was one in particular that I made for my sister that was probably my favorite. I made one for my niece. I made one for my daughters. I made one for my daughter's mother-in-law. So I was just cranking out the Afghans. I also cranked out a ton of sweaters. I probably made in 2025, and this is not a joke, y'all. You ask anybody that knows me, I probably made 35 sweaters, maybe more, in 2025. So I don't know how I do that, considering I have a full-time job, and I don't know. So my number one favorite project of 2025 is this this blanket that I made for my son. It's still in the works. When the holidays came, I put it down, and basically all it needs is for me to finish the trim and cut the ends off. Like, that's it. But it's such a big project. Like, I'm gonna have to lay it out on the floor. It's gonna be an ordeal. Actually, what I'll do is lay it out on my bed, turn on the TV, and just go to work at it. But it's called the Moth Afghan, and I used only scraps for this. So I pulled out both of my scrap baskets and I used only scraps for the, well, that's not true. I used only scraps for the squares, but I bought the black from Michael's to go around the edge because I wanted it to make sure it matched perfectly, that we had the same dye lot and all that. But this is my Hawk Moth Afghan. And like I said, this is for my youngest son, Benjamin. He is such a sweetheart, and he just deserves something like this. And I'm also making one for my son, Timothy. He's my oldest son. And then I need to make a sweater for his wife, Kita, my daughter-in-law. And then eventually they have two sons, my grandsons, Kichoin and Naz, and I need to make them blankets as well. But there's only one of me. All right, so that is my number one favorite thing that I made in 2025. My second favorite thing that I made in 2025 is my pumpkin spice sweater. And that is this one right here. And this is my favorite sweater that I made. This is my pumpkin spice sweater. And it still needs a little bit, I think there's a few strings. I thought I got them all, but there's a couple that have popped out. So I need to finish that, but I am going to, I don't even care that it is a fall sweater. I'm wearing this baby. I am wearing this baby because it is one of my favorites. All right, now on to some of the smaller sweaters that I made. I can't even tell you how many of these I made. This one is probably one of my favorites. I just love the gentleness of it, the sweetness, but then the pop of color. So that's one of my favorites. But this one I'm going to show you right now is my all-time favorite. And I personally would like to have one just like this. I mean exactly like this for myself. So here's the back. And then here's the front. It has a little tie front. This is like a size 4 or 5, I think. And the yarn that I used in the middle, well, actually all of this is Yarn Bee, the Yarn Bee yarn that I was just talking about, the low pill yarn. So this is gonna hold up really well. Is that just not the sweetest thing you've ever seen? So those are my two favorite children's sweaters that I made. Now I made a couple of ponchos in 2025. I made 3 adult ponchos and 2 children's ponchos, but this is my favorite children's poncho. Let's see. I mean, this reminds me of something that I wore when I was a little girl. I loved me some ponchos. And I think they're kind of coming back. And then it has a little hat that goes with it. So that is my favorite little poncho I made. And then my favorite, I'm going to say this is my favorite project. I have a love-hate relationship with this thing. It is ridiculous. My Ruana. I finally got the yarn. This is all I needed to finish the Ruana. This has been a labor of love. I don't even know how it goes. I had this grand idea to put this pom-pom fringe all the way around it. So it's going to be more of like it's too heavy to be like a swimsuit cover-up because it's worsted weight yarn and the thing weighs like 10 pounds. But I really wanted to kind of have that like little slinky look of like a bathing suit cover-up. But now it's more of like a winter like a winter boho kind of look that would look great with a pretty top and some jeans and some boots. I've shown this a couple of times. So all I have to do now is finish the pom-poms and it will be finished, and then steam it. So that is on my list probably tonight to do. All right, so some of you may know this who have been around for a while. I am not much of an amigurumi maker, but I really love them, and I love to watch other people do it. And I had myself convinced that I couldn't do it, which is kind of funny because I don't know if you all have seen those Caron dolls. They're just beautiful little dolls. They have like the great little dresses on them and hats, and you make the hair, and they're like really, really cute. They're like little boho dolls. I made all of them, and they're all gorgeous. So I do know how to make plushies and like stuff like that, but I just, for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe because I didn't understand the yarn and all of that goes along with amigurumi, but I did make some. And one of my favorite projects is my fat cat. I loved this one so much. And I was going to sell it, but I've decided to keep it. And then my other fave, and I want to make a big one of these, is the this guy. Oh gosh, there was one more thing that I wanted to show you that I'm working on, and it is my little sweater. And I got this idea off of, I want to say it right, My Little Tennessee Garden. She is so funny. And I think her name's Kelly. Pretty sure her name's Kelly. She made this cute little sweater, and I really liked it. And I said, oh, I'm going to make one of those. So, I had this leftover yarn from the Ruana. So I'm going to make, I needed more of this to finish it. So this is also another whip. So let's see, I'm almost finished. I think the last thing I want to show you is what I got from Hobby Lobby yesterday. What I got from Hobby Lobby yesterday. I think the last little bit that I wanted to show you, and then I'm going to show you a couple of projects that I want to make. So the sweater that I want to make with the Yarn Bee yarn that I purchased, I want to show you what that looks like. But this is some of my new yarn. So I ended up getting like 6 or 7 skeins of this apple green. I have nothing in mind for this other than I made that shrug with it, and I like the shrug. It's just like I said, it kind of feels like a straight jacket because the arms are so short, and it's like little T-Rex arms. So I want to make one with long slouchy arms. So I thought maybe I'd get more of this and just do that. So I have like 5 or 6 skeins of this. And so I'm just kind of putting it aside for that project, I think. It's not like a list. It's not something high on the list. And then I got this. I think it is so pretty. And I really want to make a sweater all in different colors of purples. So going from like the lightest lilac all the way up to like an eggplant color. And then I thought I could put this, pull one out, I could put this as the flower if I was going to do a granny square. I thought this could be like the center color. It's not really showing up as purple, but there's a lot of purple in there. And then do the rest of the granny square with those other colors. I don't know. I just really love this. It's also very soft, so I just might make socks out of this. My goal is to make like a ton of socks this year to have for my markets. So this might just end up being sock stuff, but I just thought it was so pretty I had to have it. Oh, you probably want to know what it is, right? So it's Yarn Bee. Soft and Sleek Low Pill Fiber. And it's called Parisian Light. Yeah, it's very beautiful. I really like it. Then I got this. This is, I love this yarn, and it's called Bird Song. Very, very pretty. And socks, more socks. I just am on a socks kick. This one, I got 4 skeins of each of these. This one is called Cobblestone. I'm going to make another pullover with this. I don't know what kind. I haven't found the pattern yet. But this is called Cobblestone. And I'm going to make some sort of pullover with this beautiful. It's got some like turquoise and a rusty red, and it's just, I like the speckles that come in this yarn. It's a print. It's called print yarn. It's got like these little speckles. I love how this makes up. It's really my favorite. It's kind of what I was hoping I was going to get with Biddy Stripes. Not so much. And then this is the one that I got. I wasn't sure if I liked it or not, but I think what I'm going to do is just make slippers out of it, or socks. And this is called City Beat, and it's kind of beachy colors. So I mean, I could make like a little, it's not as orange as it looks there. I could make a cute little beach cover up with this for when we go to Florida and put more pom-poms on it. I'm like on a pom-pom kick too. I have 4 of these. So that's an idea. Let me do that. So that's it. I mean, I really don't have a lot of other things to report today. Like I said, I came back feeling really rested and rejuvenated. It was a fun trip. Thank you, Trace, for taking me to Santa Rosa. I know she just subscribed to the channel, so thank you. And I don't think I said that in the beginning. If you're new here, welcome. I'm really glad you're here, and I'm glad you found us. And if you're returning, you know, I'm so glad you stuck with me through all the hard days. Really looking forward to 2026. And if you've got a channel, if you've got your own channel, you're welcome to put it in the comment section, and I will share it. I love that when people, you know, let me know that they're also a channel, maybe that they're trying to grow, or maybe they've got a lot of subscribers. Even if you have a lot of subscribers, you're still trying to grow. So, all right. For the last thing that I wanted to talk about, and that was my my little gift that I got from YouTube telling me all about what I did this year on my YouTube channel, and like who I watched and what I watched the most of and what were my favorite shows and those kinds of things. So my so when I first came around to YouTube, which would have been in late August, was when I first came around to YouTube of 2025. I was watching a lot of Passionate Kelsey because a few months prior to when I first really like thought about making a channel, I had gotten really sick, and Passionate Kelsey got me through those really hard days. Like, she's just so funny. And so I really enjoyed her. But then, you know, I found a whole bunch of other people, because that's what happens when you start finding something, like then you move on to other people start showing up in your algorithm. So after Passionate Chelsea, one of my top 5 is Tammy at Crafty Mompreneur. She was actually the inspiration for me starting a channel. And so she showed up on my top 5. And then Melody Yarn Tinka also showed up on my top 5. Sarah from Crochet.With.Coffee showed up at my top 5. So that's 3 so far. And then my 4th was Yarn Geek, Ginger from the Yarn Geek. And then number 5 was Mel's Yarniverse. So those were my top 5 channels. Now, since then, I have found some new people that I really love. And the Kelly, I think her name's Kelly, at my tiny Tennessee garden. I think that's what it's called. If I don't have it right, I'm going to put it up here, and I'm also going to put it in the description. And then the Yarn Doc, I just love Ellen at the Yarn Doc. She's so funny. So those were my top 5 channels. I've found so many more that I love. Like I said, I just found Kelly, and she literally cracks me up. She is one that is not afraid to like laugh out loud and have fun. So I really love her channel. I encourage you all to go check her out. And then a couple of other channels that I found that are not crochet related, but are so relaxing. One is called it's like a British countryside. I'm going to put it in the description. British countryside, and it's basically just her like doing slow living, which I'm starting to practice, and I really enjoy that because I'm still such a spaz. Like, it's going to take a long time for me. I am not like by any means even close to slow living, but I am being mindful and I am thinking about it and making little steps to get to slow living. But I really do enjoy watching her do her slow living stuff. And then another one that I really love is I'm going to put it in the description, but it's basically this Japanese family who has a bakery, and it's the story of them getting up at 3 a.m. every day to bake bread and treats for their Japanese bakery. And it is so lovely. I love it so much because there's no talking. It's just them baking, and it's very relaxing, and it makes me want to bake. So maybe as I get better at slow living, I will do some baking. I don't bake because I'm such a spaz, and I'm just like, my husband says I load the dishwasher faster than anybody he knows. And so I just want to practice the slow living. And so maybe that will be something I'll do more when I start slow living. So that's it, folks. I really appreciate you all. And I hope that you come back and see me on Wednesday. We're going to talk about Wellness Wednesday and Whip Wednesday. So I'm going to bring out the whips, show you, what I have, what I'm working on, which I already did a few whips today, but I have more. And we will look at those, figure out, like, am I gonna finish it, or am I gonna frog it? I don't know. We'll find out, but I got to do something because just all the product, the finished things or half finished things are taking up so much space in Basecamp. So I need to get this manageable. So I will want to be in here, because right now I don't want to be in here because it's not manageable. So yeah, got to get it manageable. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. I will see you on Wednesday. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye.